So I was answering the question from Cherit. For those who are joining us, welcome to our third session for this semester. So Cherit asked about when we are programming, when we are doing the practical, not the theoretical, using the JGrasp, are we supposed to define the public class private static void? Yes. Like I said previously, on one of our lessons, I think that was the second one. Let me share my screen shortly. Okay, I hope you can all see my screen. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, so let me open our ITL so that we go back a little bit, because this is the foundation of programming, right? So like I said, I was answering the question from Cherit. She was saying, are we supposed to define public class whenever we are writing Java programming? Yes. Why? Because like I said before, Java is structured in classes, right? So remember, this example, right? So Java is formed in classes, right? So this is our bigger class, right? And this is our program. Let's say it's Hello World. Right? This is the name of our program. So within that program, there are other subclasses, smaller classes like these ones. So these classes, they interact with each other. So here we are defining our what? Our main class, public class Hello World. Then we open our what? Our curly braces. So let us also do it here. File, new Java, right? So let us save this Hello World. Or let us define our name of our class. So name of our class is what? It's public, small caps, sorry, public class. Name of our class is what? Hello World. Then we open and close our curly brackets, right? So this is the program on itself, right? But if you try to run this program, it will not run. Why? Because it doesn't have methods, right? So what is a method? Every Java program should have a main method. A main method is like a door, right? You are opening your car, we have door. So a main method is like a door. It's our entry point to our Java program, right? You have to define your what? Your main method. So your main method is public static void main, open brackets. So within open brackets, we have string args. Then we open curly brackets and close. Kindly note these brackets. They should be there. Okay, for now, let us remove this at main method and try to run our program. On its own, this is the, maybe, let's say example of a car. It doesn't have engine, it doesn't have seats, it doesn't have clutch and everything. So it's just a what? A car with nothing, a program with nothing. Let's try to run it. So here it's saying save. You need to save your what? Your program. So it will give this small screen saying hello.java. So your file name should be similar to what? To the name of your class. If it's different, it will not run. It will give you an error, right? So please take note. In the exam, they may give this purposely and say, debug this program. If you run it, what's the error message? Identify the error message. So you have to be very, very sensitive. Your problem here is hello.java. It's different from what? From the class name. So to solve this, it should be the same, like hello world, one word, and save it. Okay, it's saying it's already in use. Okay, so let me try to write another one. Let's say cat, and let us save it. So you see here, it has already changed cat, and our file name is what? cat.java. So every Java program should end with .java. Please take note this. If you say it will not run, even if you save it. So we need to save it .java, right? And we save it. Okay, so this is our program here, cat.java. Let us try to run this program or to compile it. Operation complete. So it has compiled very successfully, but it will not run. No main method. So there's no door there. We need to define our entry point. That's where we have to write our main method. So our main method says public static void main. Then we open brackets, string args. And we open and close curly brackets, right? So this is our what? Our door, our entry point. So we are going to discuss more the meaning of these names, public. These are called identifiers, right? Static, what does static mean? What does void mean? What does main mean? Strings, these are what are variables. They are containers. So we have main variables in what? In Java programming. We shall discuss more about variables in these words. But here, this is our what? Our entry point, our door. So let us try to run this now. You see, operation complete. It is now run successfully. So without this, your program will not run. So to answer that question from Charity, it's very, very compulsory to define the name of your class, right? So if we go on, we want now this program to give us an output. Like we said before, features of a good program. When we are writing a program, we should give it precisely what we want it to give us back. So what do you want this program to give us back? We say let's say we want it to print, let's say, hello cat. So we are now saying system, just indent. So for the purpose of indentation is just for clarity and for readability, so that everyone can visually see your program and understand it when they are reading it. So in Java, here again, it's recommended to use comments, name of the class here. So if you write like this, / name of class, so you are just commenting your program, right? To make it appetizing, to make it easy to understand. You can just name of the class is cat. Right? Even your marker, we will say this student knows what exactly is he or she doing. And here you can say you are defining your what? Defining my main method. It's not compulsory, commenting, optional, right? But it gives the marker or someone who is reading your program the idea behind the code, right? So Java will not execute this under double slashes, right? It will skip and go on to your main method. So this is not compulsory, but it's advisable if you want to make your program easy to read. Okay, so like I said before, we want this program to output exactly what we have given it, right? To output precisely what we give it. So let us say system, and again, this is optional. This is not optional. It is mandatory, right? This line, system.out.print line, print line, open brackets, let's say double quotes, hello cat, and we put our semicolon. So basically, line number 6, what it means is, what this line is saying is system.out. So we are telling the program saying, please output whatever I'm going to write within these brackets, right? So we are saying system.out.println. So again, this is compulsory. System.out.println hello cat. So let us run this program. And here is our result. Hello cat. Right? So this means our program is run successfully. And basically, this is a simplified example of a Java program. But in our module, we are saying, yes, we have received this as an output, but we want it now to give us a dialog box, a new window whereby it's written hello cat. But this is an example of a what? Of a Java program. But we want to add more now to say, okay, if I run my program, I want it to give me a simple screen, right? So to add on, to have that screen. So that screen, where do we get that screen? We import what? Some libraries. So when we are importing those libraries, you need to write on your program outside your class because it's not included within our class. So we need to import now here to say to write import Java X swing .j option pen semicolon. Please take note, Java programming is very, very case sensitive. You need to write as it is without any mistake, right? Forgetting this, writing a semicolon, your program will not run. Forgetting this, your program will not run. So here we say hello cat in quote brackets. This means please output this string. Always they are written in Java within strings, and strings variable. We identify a string variable through a what? A semicolon, through double quotes, right? So all I am saying here is Java is very case sensitive. You need to take note all these semicolons seriously. You need to consider them very, very seriously. So I was saying we need that option of a different window, right? A different box where we write hello cat. So we import some libraries. The name of our library is what? javax.swing.j option. So after this, instead of writing this, right, we can delete it and say j option, capital letter, option, pen dot show message. So we want it now to output whatever we are going to write within the bracket. Show message, dialog, open and closing bracket, then you put a what? The semicolon here. So within that bracket now, this is by default. Firstly, now, and you put your comma, hello cat, right? And you write system dot exit zero. So let us try run this program now so that we can see our results. So here is saying there's a what? There's an error here. J option pen dot show message. So like I said, Java is very, very case sensitive, guys. I have made an error here. Like you said, it will not run. So let us try now to debug where the error is. So Java is very easy. It will give you where exactly the error is. So here, our error is here, line number 8. let us go on line number 8. What happened there? J option pen dot show message. Are you able to see where our error is, guys? Can someone please help me identify where I've made an error?
Yes, I think between message and dialogue there.
Excellent, that's good.
You did something like an I.
Yes. So let us remove. So here basically we are debugging our what? Our program to remove what? Errors. And now let us run it, because it should be message, not messages, right? Let us try to run it. Our program is run successfully. So basically, this is an example of a what? Of a simple Java program. Okay. Thank you. I hope we are on the same page right now. So do we have any questions so far before we move on? Kindly feel free to air out any questions, because this is the foundation, guys.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Yesterday I was trying to do the same, but I kept on receiving an error message. Every time I would try to compile the code, I would receive Java 7 something. Maybe it's because I wasn't like understanding what I was doing. I was just copying, so maybe I made some errors. I'm not so sure. I ended up like sending to the group to ask. But I think this time around, maybe I'll if I try it again, if I attempt it again, maybe I'll get it right.
Okay, but
I wanted
just
to
a quick one.
Okay.
Did you manage to install all the JDK and everything?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm sure if you try on your next session, it will be successful.
I wanted to ask also, like, is it a must that we have to skip the lines, and I have to also number it like what you have done?
Okay. So,
maybe could it be the problem because I didn't put numbers like line 1, 2, 3?
Okay, so on numbering specifically, it all goes back to the issue of debugging. You are trying to trace where exactly is your problem, but numbering is not an issue. You can ignore it.
Okay.
You can,
but I have to put space in between.
Yes, space specifically it's for readability. Let me show you something, guys. Java does not care about spacing. It will operate efficiently. It will operate like there's space, right? Let me put this in one line. Everything in one line. Yeah, like this. And all the brackets in one line. Okay, so let us try to run it now. You see, it still runs, but the issue of putting this, the issue of indentation, spacing, it's for us guys, for readability, so that you can easily understand what's going on. It's for our advantage. Java does not care for indentation. It will run as usual, but this is mainly for us, right? So the issue of indentation is very, very important on our side as humans, but the system, the Java system, it will still operate. All right. So do we have any question? I think you are answered.
Yes, thank you so much.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, I joined late. Maybe you've gone through it. You've explained why. The first line, the import Java swing.
Okay. Okay. The first line, import Java swing J option. Like I said, as you said, you have joined lately, but this line, we can remove this line, right? But let us remove everything. Let us go back quickly for the sake of others, so that when we move, we are on the same page. Okay. So, like I said, name of our class is called what? Name of our program is called cat. Public class cat. So you need to define name of your program, right? This is mandatory. Going back to Chat's question, it's mandatory. You have to define your what? Name of your class. Like I said here, this is our what? Name of our class. So this here are methods. These small classes are what? We call them methods. They are within the what? The main class. So here, you need to what? You can write your what? Your program. System dot out dot print line. Then you put your, then you say locate, right? If you run this, it's saying system S here. You see, our program is what? It's giving us hello cat. It is run successfully. So, but we want this program to display hello cat on a different console, an independent console, like a different screen. That's where we import. That's the purpose. That small screen, right? That's whereby we have to import some behind the scenes libraries, right? So that's why we import Java x.swing.j option pen. Yeah. This line here, it enables our message hello cat to be displayed on a different console, not here, right? So we are now removing this part J and start to invoke now to say, I'm going to use the option panel. We want it to be displayed on a different panel. So we are now saying J option panel is pan.show message. Dialog on that different. Okay. So here we have now and comma. And we say system.exit 0 semicolon. So if we run it now, let's see here. It's giving us a what? a different console, a different dialogue, whereby you say, hello world. I think you are answered. Do you have any question? That's the purpose of what? Of this line, right?
I'm answered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
I would like to ask on the issue of capital letters there, like on J option, and then you put on pen, or you said it's panel, right? And
yes,
is it important that I have to make sure that I have to put capital letter J and O as well as capital letter P on the on panel?
yes, thank you for that. I think this is a very, very good question. Yeah. In Java, we have what we call Java syntax, right? Like every language has got what we call syntax. What do you mean by syntax? In English, we have the way we speak English, the way we write words, right? In Zulu, in whatever language, we have that, the way we write those words. Maybe it's a noun, you have to put capital letter. That's the same way in Java. We have those special ways that we call syntax. And we need to respect the way they are written, right? So in the case whereby you say you write a small O here, your program will not run. But the good part of Java is it will help you to identify exactly where needs to be corrected. Okay, let us run it now. You see here the error message that has come out. J here, it's pointing here. That's where the error is. So the good part of Java is you can make mistakes while writing a program, but when trying to compile it, it will not compile. It will give you the pointer whereby you are supposed to what? To correct. So you need to take note of Java syntax. You need to take note of the way, the jargon, the structure. Like I said, every language has got its syntax. You need to take note of those. So it's very, very important to write as it is. Caps and small caps. Java is very, very sensitive, guys. I hope you are answered. Do we have any question before we move on? Because this is the foundation, guys. Let us exhaust all the questions before we move on to numbers, to operators,
Hi
to
there,
do the
James.
calculations.
Evening, James. I just wanted to know something.
Yes.
When do you know when to put in those J option pane? Are you still going to show that to us still?
Okay. This
Like, for
message,
example,
line number
sorry,
6.
you see, for example,
Okay.
like let's say, for example, like import Java X string, line number 1. All of that, how do you know when to put it in, where to put it in? Or are you still going to show that to us still?
Okay. For the sake of this module, and for the sake of we are using JGrasp, it is recommended to always use to display our program on a different dialog. Hence, it's compulsory to have this for the sake of this class. But when you go into the industry, yes, we can forget this. But for the sake of this class, it's very, very important to always have this line here. And when you want to display the result, this line is very, very important again. That's where we are invoking, say, please display hello world on a what? On a different dialogue, on a different console, unlike to display it here. So every program that we are going to write going forward, we are going to have this line to have this library in our program. It's very important, specifically for displaying the output. So all its job is for displaying the output. That's all. So whenever we are going to write our program, we need to display the output. We have to import this JavaX. Whenever we want to, let's say, a calculator to write like here, I was writing a triangle program stars. I need also to have it. Here, let me try to run this. I need to enter the size of triangles, let's say 5. You see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's what we call a right angle triangle. So for the purpose of displaying, we need to have this, right? It's specifically for displaying. Let me show you something. I run this, okay, let me end it. You see, here it's written string size, string J option. So I'm saying enter the size of the triangle. This is where display. So basically, in summary, we are saying this thing is important for what? For displaying the output. So it's very, very important going forward for our classes. I hope I've answered your question correctly. Do we have any question? Or whereby you feel we need to go back before we move on?
And I do have a question. And that none,
Yes.
just before the hello cat, what's the purpose? Why do we have to put that one?
Pardon, may you come again?
The null just before the hello cat. What's that
Oh,
for?
this now.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said before, we have what we call this syntax of every programming language or every language. We have those rules that we have to follow. If we are writing the name of a person within our, maybe a composition, to put a capital letter, we have to follow those syntaxes. So it also applies to Java programming. We need to follow those rules, those syntaxes. So actually, it's a must to have that. Do we have any question? Okay, I hope we are on the same page, so we can safely move on to, so on this symbol program that we have wrote before the hello Java and the one we have write today, the cat, we have covered a lot of things on this one. This is just a summary of what we have already done. We have write the main method, which is our entry point. This is our main method. And we have called that main method, right? When we run and we are now calling, we say, we want this to give us something. JOption.pen.showMessage dialog. We are calling the method. So we can have as many as we can. We can have main methods saying, let me copy here. Yes. Hello cat can say, I love programming. Today is Tuesday. So we can have as many as we want. Let us try to run this Okay, so it's giving us one allocate, but we can have as main as, let me save it. So it's giving us this message. It's displaying it at different times. I love programming. Today is Tuesday. So we can write it in the way that it can display all these. And we can have many methods, right? We can make it our program to display independently or different consoles, right? So we have covered the issue of debugging, whereby, let's say you forgot to write this thing. Right? You forgot to write a semicolon, right? Your program is now pointing you here, saying you forgot something there. There's an error. And if you put that, it will run successfully. So now we want to introduce the concept of working with numbers. So Java programming, it can work as a calculator, right? I hope, guys, I'm not overloading you with information. So we can safely move on to the concept of numbers, but I hopefully everyone can now go and write a Java program, a simple Java program, and run it, and even experiment on your own, try to debug the messages, your code and everything. So that we can move on to the issue of numbers, right? Okay, so I want to give you an assignment, guys. That assignment is about this assignment, how we can write a program to display, maybe we don't necessarily want to have it to give us this command of writing triangle, or it can display maybe 5 or 4, any number of lines. Maybe let's say we have 9 here. We want you to write a program, an assignment, whereby we are going to write a star or a rectangle of stars, which would display this pattern of stars. So this is going to be our next lesson, right? On how we can write this program together before maybe we move on to the issue of numbers, the issue of operators. That one is very, 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 very simple. But for now, let us go and try to come up with this pattern, a program that will display any type of a triangle. It's either a right angle, isosceles, scalene, whatever, but it will display some pattern. So let us just go and try to deepen our knowledge on defining classes, creating our simple class. Maybe before we move, I'm seeing our time here. Yeah, it's almost 8. So before we move on to the issue of numbers, let us go and try to write that program, right? So for now, I think for today, it's enough, and we have done the question and answering session together, and I'm so glad we are interacting. It shows that we are on the same page. And if we have any questions, please kindly feel free. You can reach out to James through the group saying, we need to revise this, we need to do this. But on our next lesson, we are going to do maybe the first 30 minutes, how we are going to write this pattern of triangle, and the next or the last 30 minutes, we will do the calculations of variables and assignments. But just a background or an overview of our unit 3 calculations. Basically, we are doing simple arithmetics through programming, how Java does its calculations. Maybe we have, let me open another and just type. So on calculations, we are going to discuss the issue of how Java operates these operators, brackets, plus, negative, subtraction, what else? Yeah, those operators, how it executes all these operators. So Java basically, to start from the highest going down to the lowest, to go down to the brackets. Maybe we have this problem. We have brackets 5 plus 4, and we have plus 2 less 3. So we want to see how it operates. It's quite different from how as human being tackle this, but Java, it is a special way it operates this. And we go on to variables. Like I said, the concept of variables, we have so many variables. We have integers, int, we have string, we have double, sorry. We have so many variables. So what is the variable? Variable is simply just a container whereby we store our information, or it saves that. So we are going to discuss about variables. We are going to discuss about integers, how Java does the storing of all those variables. We have integers, we have strings, like I said, but we're not going to dig much deeper. It's just for how we are going to make it through this semester. We have local variables. We are not going to do much on that. And we have what we call data types. We shall just go through it, but that's all we are going to discuss on our last 30 minutes of our next lesson. I hope, guys, we are on the same chapter, and because of our time, we can end here. Do we have any questions, or where we want us to start on our next lesson?
Yes, one more question, please. I wanted to ask, how are you numbering these numbers here? How are you putting this?
On numbering, you can come here. If you check my screen here, yeah, here, 10 line numbers off. I can turn it off here.
Oh.
If you click it here, it will show up those numbers.
Okay. Also, I can turn it on and off.
Yes.
And then it will start
Since
just
it's optional, yes. Okay, do you have any questions?
Hi, sir. Can you please share the software? I don't have the software. I want to practice.
Okay, the software, like we have already covered this. I think you can access one of our, I think, our second lecture.
Okay.
Whereby we downloaded it. I think all the links are on page number, I'm sure page number 15 or 23. of our study guides, or if you check that link or you visit that.
Kuro, I've noticed also if you go on learning on informatics, if you go on your modules, you get the links on the, what do you call them, the slides, the PowerPoint. What if you go to the, yes, you get the links and then you can just click from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, you're welcome. I think even one of our lecture, I think the second lecture, if you go through that lecture, you can see whereby we did all the processes from confirming the Java using the command prompt. You can also see the steps on how to install it. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, I have received a message here. Okay, so I'm sure this is a paid lecture, and going forward, we are going to, it's not free, it will be paid. So you can discuss that with James through the group. Any questions? Okay, guys, thank you. Have a great night. See you next week, same time.
Yes, cheers.
Hayi, ngumnyama.